What's going on, guys? Hey, Repeat here, and this is the FilterTime eSpark iRacing Series, hydrated by Be Water. What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? Repeat back with you. Man, I tell you, it's great to be back for week number 3 of the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by the one and only Be Water, and talk about one and onlys starting from tonight on out for the rest of the season. Got the young buck, old Byron Jones. Others know him as Yotes King from back in the console days. Yotes, we're following around right now with the one and only 6 of Joey Stone. I believe we've got a full field. Not exactly if anybody's gonna have to go home tonight. But so far, Stone is he's sitting about. Where is Stone? He's sitting somewhere outside of the top 10. But, man, this is going to be one hell of a race. Welcome to eSpark, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Pete, man. Appreciate you inviting me along. You said, hey, you know what? Want to call something? Want to come do something with me? I'm like, of course. I am all down for it, and I'm so excited for tonight. Obviously, a lot of fast guys out here on the track, from everybody from Jose, York, you got Holzer, all the way down the guys like Pinnell, Honeycutt, Gimbel, you name them all. They're all fast. I'm excited to see some close, tight racing tonight at Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. You know, Honeycutt, as well as several others that are very, very fast out here in this eSpark series. And you're talking about, man, 2, 3, and I've actually seen this race come to close at 4 wide. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of very, very fast drivers out here. This is pretty much a mix of Pro League drivers, Heat drivers, and Winter Series drivers on the Xbox side and the PlayStation side, plus a bunch of great guys that were just already on iRacing. You know, like D. Mitch, if you remember him back from the console days. That's Mitch Garrison, and just guys that have moved over a long time ago, and now we're going to get to see them all intermingle right here. So they've got a little bit of time to go ahead and get warmed up and maybe turn another lap or two. It looks like right now, let me see if it actually tells me just yet. No, it doesn't tell me just yet if there were any go-home drivers. But, man, we are going to see some very, very fast-paced, hard racing all the way around this 2 mile. I mean, I love this speedway. Always have, going all the way back to NASCAR 09.
Yeah, you think the spot would be sort of like a Talladega or Daytona positioning, just the way these guys are able to drive and wheel this. But in the same boat, I mean, this is also a very, very loose track. If guys don't pay attention correctly to their car, especially with it being Xfinity cars, guys got to know what they're doing. Best of the best, though, obviously, like you said, finding themselves 3, 4 wide. It's just solely dependent on how intense and how aggressive these guys want to find themselves at any point in the race. And I think that's sort of what it's going to come down to, is who's the aggressive one that's able to make those positions, make the moves, and then the guys who aren't as aggressive that maybe hang back up until it's their time to charge. I don't know, a lot of different guys driving different styles. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only that, there's some guys that just bought or just signed up for iRacing very recently. You know, last week, the one and only Mr. Harbin, Josh Harbin, was brand new to iRacing. I mean, he got iRacing like midnight the night before. He got some help turning some laps at Atlanta, and then here he is. He only ended up 4 laps down, and to only fall that far down at Atlanta, I mean, it's that says a lot for his driving abilities right off the bat. And I actually talked to him a little bit yesterday, and he said, "Pete, don't count me on being in the back this week." So he's been running a bunch of officials. I think he said he's up to his B license already, and yeah. So it looks like on the pole is going to be the one and only 17 of James Holzer, last week's Atlanta winner. You're going to have Cody Giles, old Fluffy, of course. Then you're going to have Kyle Knapp, Brendan Book, DJ Stagner. You were watching him just a little bit ago. Elliott Henderson, Zach Onson, Jordan Bain, Jose Ruiz, and Hunter Brittle. That's going to be your top 10. And I believe that these guys are starting to line up already. Yep, there we go.
So, yeah, this one's going to be, oh, man. I keep saying it, interesting. That's my style. That's what I am. I love to see how guys sort of plan and attack this race. But Holzer being the pole guy, I thought walking in here with Bain being one of those guys, he was going to find himself up towards the top. Starting P8, obviously not a bad start for the fact that we got 42 drivers up in here. So, yeah, it's totally got to be how you attack this place. I'm going to keep saying it a little bit longer. You got to know how to attack, how to play smart at it with these guys. I believe they only have, 5 sets of tires, so they got to be very, very conservative with it. Then again, only being 90 laps, shouldn't find themselves coming down too much. May have about 2 extra sets left over when it's all said and done. But, man, I'm excited for this. I'm pumped. I'm ready for this.
Oh, me too. You can hear the roar of the engines. These guys now pulling off of pit road. I'm going to jump on board with Mr. Holzer right now. And there he is, got the 16 again. Cody Giles right behind him. Let's pull up a little bit of information on him right now, and see exactly what we're looking at. There we go. So yeah, you can see the 17 of James Holzer. Looks like Frydog out there in chat saying, "Let's go, Cody Pennell." TW Warehouse says, "Hell yeah, NASCAR 09. Probably the best NASCAR game I can remember anyway, going back to the lockers and all that." And then Dr. Bush out there saying, "What's up, Pete? Wish I was racing tonight, just unfortunately could not make it." So we're going to go through the field here a little bit. So we mentioned Holzer on the pole. We got the 16 of Cody Giles, Kyle Knapp in his number 5 Target machine. That's going to be a Camaro. Then we got Brendan Book, old Cosmic. I'm sorry, I missed Mr. Knapp. There he is. He's in the 42 Xfinity. Then DJ Stagner's number 64 Exalta Toyota Supra. Mr. Henderson in this 37 Supra as well. Zach Onson, another Toyota. I'm starting to see a little bit of a theme here. Mostly bow ties and Supras with one Ford kind of coming in between. Jordan Bain in this number 28 B-Water Ford Mustang. Jose Ruiz in his number 23 Kodiak. And we are going green.
Guys already now starting to file out just a bit. As you see James Holzer taking a commanding lead in the 1 and 2. He's going to have control of both lanes. Currently wanting to look at that middle lane, trying to be able to create some sort of momentum and gap these guys straight off the bat. Don't count out the 16 of Cody, as he's now going to get a run heading on down the backstretch. Yeah,
but I tell you what, big congrats. If I was to pan back all the way to 42nd right now, Larry Hensing. Actually, yeah, there he is, 30 and 20. Looks like there might have been a little bit of an issue in the back, but no caution as of yet anyway. Looks like most of the field was able to make it through all the mayhem of turns 1 and 2. No real loose issues. We're going to pull it back up again with that 37 of Elliott Henderson right about, where is he up? He's about P5, P8, somewhere right around there.
Yeah, looking like he's P8 currently right in front of the 28 of Jordan Bain. But yeah, 37, one of those guys I haven't really seen much about. Going to be interested to see how his style is going to be. But man, guys already starting to single file out up here in the front of the pack. And you think this is sort of something we're going to see all night?
Oh, we're gonna see this all night long. Exactly right. Bring it back up to that 17 of Holzer again with the 16 right behind him. There you see the damaged or something happened with this number 81. Fell all the way to the back, and he's gonna go a lap down early. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's one of the things you hate to see early on in a race, but he does have one fast repair, I believe. Yeah, they got one fast repair, so maybe he'll bring it on down, get that one fixed, as the caution's already out. Wonder what that was for.
Let's see if we can find out. I'm wondering if this might have been a manual caution, because I'm not seeing anything pop up that's showing me somebody wrecked, somebody went around, nothing like that. Just seeing a whole lot of passes. I wonder if maybe there was an issue with somebody getting loaded in. So Dohar told Rock to go ahead or Marty Hensley, as most know him, to go ahead and throw the yellow. That way, everybody could get caught up.
Yeah, I was also thinking possibly could have been for the early, early wreck that happened early on with the guys being able to keep it all straight. They decide maybe it wasn't fair enough to have that happen this early on.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I had a feeling something was off, because when I was looking for Mr. Holzer in P1 again, it was showing me somebody completely different. That's why we came back to the 37, and that's why right off the bat I couldn't pull up the 19 or the 81 rather, and tell you who they were. A little bit of faking, a little bit of juking and jiving, thinking that they might be able to catch somebody going down pit road, but they're going to be able to keep it. And yeah, this first caution again, 42 Xfinity cars out here. Again, I am repeat, and this is the one and only Byron Jones, and you're watching the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by the one and only Bee Water.
Man, I tell you what, I have not got a chance to try Bee Water, but it
man,
sounds amazing.
I got a case in just before we went green. I've already thrown 2 or 3 bottles inside my little mini fridge here, and I popped one downstairs through one of the Ray's hydration packs in there. Oh my God, yeah. It's amazing. John Fry asking if Dohar is out of the race. Let's see if we can find that number 77 for Dohar. Nope. Fry Dog, here is that 77 FilterTime Camaro for Dohar, but definitely in the back. So I'm guessing something happened somewhere, and who knows, might even been the reason for the caution. But again, unfortunately, the tool's not telling me that somebody wrecked. I think there might have just maybe been a loading issue. I don't know. Well, you know what? While everybody's kind of single file, I think I got up to Jose Ruiz earlier in P number 10, and I was kind of showing everybody who's here and whatnot. Since we've got a pace lap or two, why don't we go ahead and pick that right back up? I believe where we were anyway. 23 of Jose Ruiz out of Sacramento, California, number 23 Kodak car. Then we got Timothy Moore in this number 74 Caterpillar machine. Toll Owen in this 09. Man, I love the graphic on the side of that. It looks like a Fast and Furious car. Tom Flitcroft, Tom Flitty in this double bubble number 8. Dakota Long, old KFB 18. Somebody, some may remember him. And old Josh Harbin, the Bear, 95, rocking this number 3 Camaro. Then we got Jason Keffer in this number 33 LKN Lighting machine. Sam Morris, old Mordog, in this number 94. Maxwell Castro, 27, Next Level Racing. It's actually the rig that I trust and use every day. Justin Mons in this number 41 Tango Camaro. Then we got Cody Pinnell in this 21 Quick Lane Wood Brothers throwback. He's got a bit of damage on the front end of that Ford. I'm going to guess that's probably where a part of this caution came from. Jeremy Brolt in his number 98 Haas machine. And we're going to bring it back to the front here, and some guys getting hard on the loud pedal, getting ready, getting double file one more time, bud.
Yeah, as we wrap around back to the restart zone, guys are going to get antsy. I wouldn't be surprised, but hey, here we go. Green flags waving once again. James Holzer with an amazing jump again, going to be able to control both lanes, and look at that. He's already out, I would say, maybe 0.3 of a second.
Absolutely, you called it exactly dead on. 0.33 ahead of the 42 of Kyle Knapp. And behind them, they are they've thought about 3 wide, but they decided to go ahead and bring it back. And look at this field as it comes through 1 and 2. Everybody holding on, nobody spinning it out, going through the draft. Definitely want to thank everybody that's out there in chat. Appreciate you coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, and keeping me and Mr. Jones here some company. What a field, buddy.
I know, this is most impressive racing I have seen so far in a very, very long time. Don't really get to see this, obviously, either down on the track, spinning it around, or, you know, I'm from the pits watching everybody else just drive past me. But yeah, it's amazing. Everybody all single filed up, being able to break away. This is the racing I love to see. Guys being able to battle side by side within inches of touching each other, and still being able to keep it all close, nice, and compact. But that 17, talking about being compact, he's now starting to get charged on by the entire pack behind him. I think if you're the 17, you might want to scatter just a little bit more if you can and try to push that car just a tad bit.
Oh yeah, but the only thing is you can't really push. They got 1 heat cycle on these tires. It was just a short, what was it, 5 maybe 6 laps, and then caution flew. So they had to think about that. If they were pushing real hard in the beginning, they've got to kind of tone it down just a little bit. And we're continuing to kind of work through the field as you see everybody, or mostly everybody, up high along that wall. And I don't know about you, Byron, but when you're at a place like Michigan or at Auto Club, a couple of these others, a lot of people say that if you're up by the wall, it almost helps you not only keep the draft of the car ahead, but you get that feel of being up close to the wall, almost like a little bit of extra speed, because there's no resistance to your outside. Now, if you hit the wall, it's definitely resistance, but there's no resistance on any of the right side of your deck lid. There's no resistance on your right side fenders. No, nothing like that. And not only that, you don't have to worry about somebody going up your outside. I don't know if there's any truth to that, or if that's why these guys and all the real NASCAR drivers go out there, but there's got to be something to it, because that seems like it's where everybody migrates to.
Yeah, maybe that's why I find myself in the back of a Padawan. Obviously, that bottom lane, I love it to death. That bottom lane seems like if you can get those tires down on that yellow, it wraps you around. But the only thing is, like you were saying, if you go that top lane, it saves your tires. The more you stay on that bottom, it just continues to burn it up, let alone the guys being able to make moves on the outside on the street, such as the 25 of Dakota Long and the 23 of Jose Ruiz, now being able to make their way around him. Top lane seeming to be the dominant lane. I think that's where you want to be, especially since everybody else is sort of up there, unless if you know you can venture to the bottom and make a pass before guys start training up and passing you on by.
You know, it's kind of interesting that you talk about, the different lanes and all that. Just, I think it was like last week or the week before, the ARCA officials were right here at Michigan. I was able to go on through in my number 3 ARCA car and grab a W. And it was mostly around that second line off of the bottom is where you really wanted to be. And I had one of the best to be able to do it. Nicholas Groman, HD Motorsports, kind of spotted me through after watching him a race or two. And there's so many different lines and so many different ways to get around. You watch the 25, you watch 23, and you watch a couple others different lines. Everybody seems to really want that high side, but if you're going to try to make a pass, you're not going to really be able to do any kind of a slide job here. But if you're going to try to make a pass, it's got to be low, which is going to wear out your stuff a little bit more. You mentioned the 25 of Dakota Long. He is one of the actual true rookies in this race. Again, I mentioned him before. He used to be known as KFB 18. I believe he ran for the ENEA series over on console side, so big shout out to them. But he also ran right along with us while I was broadcasting in the NNR series as well. So welcome to eSpark, Dakota Long, and man, go get him.
Yeah, racing him over on the east side in NNR. I tell you what, we had a little bit of a rivalry going on, find ourselves into each other, but man, he is quick. I wouldn't be surprised very, very soon that he's able to pick this all up and just take off, knowing what he needs to do, and it's seeming like it is. Right now, currently finding himself in the 12th place position, but as we do check in with the 94 of Samuel Morris, finding himself a little bit further in the pack, you're starting to see guys only 2, maybe 1 wide. They're not being adventurous as far, trying to save their car. As you see now, 98 got a little bit up in the wall. The 11 of Jacob Kerr was able to successfully dodge, as I would put it, moving to the bottom lane. But Samuel Morris sort of stuck in that situation of what lane does he want. Now he's looking to the inside of that 98.
Yeah, dropping back a little bit. I saw something pop up real quick that thought maybe there was going to be a caution come out, but not so much. Let's see if we can find out exactly what that was. That was all the way in the back. It looks like maybe Matt Heel was part of that too. Yeah, he was going through the grass, blinking just a little bit. We're gonna bring that back up front and get back in this main fight. There we go. So now you got the 20. Looks like he's riding right now. That's the number 9 of Zach Onsen running in P number 9. He's got the 3 of Josh Harbin just to his inside. They're 3 wide going through the corner. Off 3 and 4. 3 of Josh Harbin going to dive low. 20 staying to the outside. Here comes the 8 of Tom Tom. They are 3 wide going into 1.
Guys now starting to send it, finding themselves, like you said, 3 wide. You got to be able to know what to do at this point. Is now you see just sort of configuring out is the way I would put it. Guys are trying to figure out what they need to do, as now they're all starting to find themselves single file. But that one man, the 28 of Jordan Bain, now looking for the inside of the 8, which is the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft. Your, of course, usual famous number, as I would put it over here. Bain now successfully able to maneuver his way around him, looking for the 8th place position. Guys now starting to get comfortable with the car after the little break they had, but guys they're really turning it on this late in the race, and they're starting to figure out what they need to do. Only 17 laps in.
Yeah, only 17 laps in. Let's go ahead and get back live. I was riding along right there with the 28 of Jordan Bain from his right front, right behind that Caterpillar machine. Back to the 6 of Mr. Stone one more time. We're going to pick back up the front, and as soon as I can get there, I promise. There we go. James Holzer still has that number 16 pestering Chevrolet from Cody Giles, Brendan Book P4, Elliott Henderson P4, and Kyle Knapp P5. But so far, man, this 17 has been very, very strong.
Yeah, coming out of the gates just firing, qualified on pole. He's now being able to continue in that top dog position, but the 16 qualified second. He's still hot on his heels. He's like that little fly that refuses to get away from your food. He keeps swiping away, but he keeps coming back. I wouldn't be surprised at some point that 16 is able to catch the 17, make a maneuver on him, and take control of this race. But right now, the 42 of Kyle Knapp, I believe is how you put it. My apologies. Gotta learn the name.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, there we go. Hey, look at this. I'm a natural. Knapp right now looking on the outside of the 10 of Hunter Brittle, as they are going to find themselves a side-by-side battle right now for the 5th place position, Pete.
Now, let me ask you, Bud, because I know you're pretty fast at this as well. You're not only just a commentator, you're a hell of a driver. Also,
Yeah.
whether it's in turn down for what, or in NNR, or in wherever you go. Do you prefer the bottom line, or you prefer a middle line? You prefer a high line around a place like this, or does it really rely on the vehicle? If you're in a truck, Xfinity, Cup, or if you're in an IMSA car, what do you prefer around this track?
That's exactly what I was about to say. It totally depends on your vehicle. Obviously, the last time I came here, I was in a Cup car. You want to run top to bottom and then follow it out. But in Xfinity cars, you sort of want to stay in that mid to low lane. I would say anything past that second line that you see through 1 and 2 is about the distance you want to find yourself at the high point. In the middle of the corner, straight dead middle of the corner, you don't want to find yourself higher than that second row, because then you get too tight. You're going to slap that extra wall that they have. For some reason, it looks like it bends out and it comes back in. I don't know. It could just be my imagination, but yeah, you want to stay in that position. You don't want to find yourself up in that super top lane, because then your car is going to get tight on you. It's going to put you in the wall, especially on really old tires. These guys, though, right now, with the condition they're in, I'd probably say stay mid to low. That's about the distance you're going to be able to find your tires to, I guess, excel the most.
Commando Griff out there in chat asking how his buddy Stout Whiskey's doing. Stout right now looks like he's had some problems riding around about 32nd in his number 60 Copart on Ford Mustang. But I tell you what, though, Commando Griff, if the caution comes out, we'll have to see just how stout he can be, because he's definitely gonna need that in order to even get back into the mix. But if I know Stout, I know he's going to keep plugging along, and he might just get that chance. We'll have to see. 23 of 90 laps in the books.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised how fast this is going by. Now you see the 16 of Cody closing that gap in on the 17. Now down to 0.2 of a second. They've been staying roughly 3-4 tenths, but at some point Cody was able to gain it up. Man, he looks like he is charging in hard, and he wants that position. And while they're battling, they have managed to pull, say, about a second or so gap off the guys behind them, and those guys just, I think if you're them, train up, try to catch them, and then all go for the battle. That's my only thought at it. But as you see, 17 staying calm under the pressure right now from that 16 of Cody Giles.
And I gotta love it. I'm glad that Holzer is actually wearing white gloves. Look at his hands work on the inside. You see him turning to the left. Oh, he's blinking out just a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up. I hope we didn't just lose Holzer, because that would be kind of bad. We're gonna go back with the 16 of Cody Giles and go back to, okay. So no, Holzer didn't lag out in that number 17 Ray's machine. But as you said, 16 though, right on his bumper, and between second and third, there is just about 3/4 of a second. There's a 7/10 gap distance back to P number 3, and you got to kind of wonder, is Mr. Giles really just biding his time, running right into tire tracks of the 17, saving his stuff, as he's going to go ahead and blink out just a little bit as well. Actually, the whole field's kind of blinking. Not quite sure what's going on here.
Oh, yes, I am seeing the same thing. They're under pressure.
Yeah,
under pressure, man.
That must be the pressure cooker, and they're having some issues. But let's kind of work our way through a little bit. Back to the number 10. You mentioned him before, of old Mr. Hunter Brittle. He's got the 64 of DJ Stagner right behind him. The 3 of Josh Harbin. He is 2 back, and ahead of him. I think the reason I keep seeing this scroll that way is they're coming past cars that are in the pits, but something's going on with SDK, I think. And
I
now,
don't know.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing now? Did it like completely pause on you?
My frames are dropping bad. No, my frames are perfect, but I am bouncing.
Yeah, my bit rate it's fine. It's in the green, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure.
You know what?
What?
I think SDK came out not that long ago. They were talking about a potential update.
Okay.
They may have updated it straight in the middle.
All right.
That would have been very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Let's see if we can't get this to pick up. Maybe try this the old-fashioned way. No, I can't even unpause it from there. There's something.
Are you down as a commentator or a broadcaster?
I am down. What do you mean?
Like when you do your 3 lines and go into your settings, does it show that you're a commentator or a broadcaster under the live timing?
Live time. Hold on.
Gotta love technical
Broadcaster.
issues. Broadcaster?
Yep.
Oh wow! So there must be something wrong with SDK right now. You gotta love that.
Yeah, but right now I'm actually in iRacing and trying to unpause it, and nothing is happening. So something big just went out the window. Let me.
Oh, it just said you had server disconnection due to the incoming packet loss.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and quit that.
I wonder if that's why the cars were blinking for you then.
That's odd. I've never, ever had that happen before. Give me 1 second. I'll try to get right back in. I absolutely promise.
The intimidation of the field was too much.
I tell you. Let's get back in here.
That is the strangest thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, not kidding. Like I said, my bit rate on Twitch and everything is perfectly in the green. I'm not having any latency issues. No nothing. So we'll get back in here and we'll pick up right where we left off. I apologize for that. That's weird.
I can give you sort of an update right now.
Yeah, go ahead, man. They got you. Go ahead.
The 16 of Cody currently about a 10th back from the 17 of James Holzer. Guys are now starting to climb in as they're heading through 1 and 2. Although the 5 of Brennan Book slowly starting to close that gap with the help from the 37 of Elliott Henderson. Those two now lining up, trying to see if they can't catch them, trying to create some sort of distance between the rest of the pack, as now Elliott finds himself almost a second and a half away from the 5th place position, the 10 of Hunter Brittle, as they are all in a line of 3. Hunter Brittle, Kyle Knapp, and DJ Stagner all lined up as they are trying to chase down the front 4 runners. Guys now starting to find themselves expanding out, finding themselves in groups of 2, groups of 3. It's sort of all mixed up around as I'm looking here. Yeah, a lot of guys are sort of in packs of 2 up until you get back to the 41 of Justin Mons, where it's just a gaggle of cars going on with the 41, 94, 20, 47, 23. Guys are all lined up, starting to get squirrely around through 1 and 2, especially off that corner. Tires are now starting to come into play. I wouldn't be surprised at some point these guys find themselves down pit road. Now I would say about 10, 15 laps from now.
There you go. And what about that battle between the 17 and the 16 with Mr. Giles right behind? He was kind of nipping at his heels just as all that started to go awry. First and second, they still just 3/10 apart.
Yeah, actually, Cody did have it down to a 10th down the backstretch. He's there. He's within the vicinity of getting the draft off that 17. I think he's sort of just playing nice, backing off, saving the stuff like we were talking about earlier.
There we go. We are back. I'm going to go ahead and pick right back up with Mr. Holzer, and there you see it. That number 17 Ray's Machine with the 16 of Cody Giles. We are back. I don't know if I lost my cameras or not. I say, what do you say? We kind of take a quick look. And yep, unfortunately, I did lose my camera settings, so I won't be able to go up close and personal on the sides of these guys. But man, I'm just glad that to be able to bring the stream back to you. Hall, I couldn't agree with you more. Very, very strange. No, Commando Griff, you didn't break it. Something else did.
It seems like he always seems to break something, right? At some point, it's always something. But yeah, as we're looking at the 17, obviously, like we say, he's under fire from the 16 of Cody. But Cody's not, I would say at this point now he's a leech. He's on there. He's stuck to him. He's not getting off until you pry it off with something. Whether that means early pit road decision or a late pit road decision. Although I think this 16 is going to be able to stretch it a little further. The only thing I can think with these guys being the way they are, and now you see the 5 and 37 slowly starting to close in that gap between those two, I could see it being fuel. They may be a little bit off cycle where they need to save an extra few laps of fuel to be able to stretch it. That's my only guess right now.
I tell you what, somebody out there in chat was rooting on Cody Pinnell. Well, I just got notification that he is leaving pit road. There you see him down on that apron. So as you mentioned just a little bit ago, Byron, green flag pits have started. Everybody was really starting to lose it, and now they were able to go ahead and get it right back. Excuse me. And as the field continues to cycle, looks like now I believe it's going to be Kyle Knapp riding in P6, Hunter Brittle right in front of him, and DJ Stagner. That's these three right here. And here you see that 74 of Timothy Moore, all about their draft, pulling himself up into P number 8.
Yeah, cycles are starting to happen now. I just saw another one come down. I believe that was the 98. Guys are starting to cycle in. Maybe some are trying to take advantage. There's also the 118 of Josh Parker going to find himself down pit road. I believe so too. Nope, I was just playing with you. So starting to file down pit road, as you see a beautiful overhead shot right now of this battle between the 1042 and the 64. But man, when I saw 42 at first, I was thinking Louis Zader, but yeah, I don't believe your race is up in here as we catch up with the 50 of Honeycutt and the 33 of Jason Kiefer. These two going at it, battling side by side. Battles all over the place. The question is, though, is that going to affect their tires a ton with them finding themselves battling side by side, I would say, early in the race?
Yeah, absolutely. John Honeycutt just announced, or just introduced this high-tech securities paint scheme over Twitter, or kind of teased at it on Twitter just earlier today. And man, this number 50 actually looks really, really sweet. You see the double yellow line on the bottom. I think this place, or this paint scheme, was built for restrictor plate racing in mind. Not too far off of Michigan, but man, that's a beautiful Camaro.
Yeah, beautiful Camaro with what looks to be, I could be wrong, but I believe he does have some rear end damage.
Yep.
So it shouldn't affect his aero much, I would think, with it being a track like this. Then again, it seems like he's still being able to keep up, passing guys around. Pit stops are starting to happen, though. A lot of guys are finding themselves down pit road this time by.
Yeah, John Honeycutt trying to get that thing woed up down to pit road speed. I believe it's 50 mile an hour here. And you were 100% right. He does have that damage on the back. That spoiler absolutely looks like it's pushed up in the air. And he's going to go ahead and burn that one fast repair. You saw the entire back end just completely go straight. He's going to have all his downforce back when he leaves the pits. So far, looks like Brendan Book, he was able to inherit the lead, which tells me that the 17 and 16 came down pit road. This Target Camaro coming down to pit road speed as well, and right behind him is going to be Elliot Henderson and Jose Ruiz in that 23 Kodak Camaro. He's going to go ahead and inherit the lead.
Yeah, Jose inheriting the lead now. I got you, Pete. Being able to take it up, but the one guy I thought wasn't even really in a sight for a bit is the 34 of Jordan McGraw, now going to find himself up to P number 2, trying to track down that 23 of Jose Ruiz. Guys coming down, continuously still coming down. Kind of surprised how these guys have been able to stretch their field as much as they have. As I say that, 23 looking like he's going to line up coming on down pit road. Yep, there he goes. Pit speed is 55, so guys have to woe it up. You're pretty on dot right there with the pit road speed. 34 of Jordan McGraw now gonna assume the lead with the oh, never mind, that's a lap car. I'm losing my words over here too. Lap car coming around the 11 of, I believe, Jacob Kerr.
There you go, Jacob Kerr in the number 11. And as you said, Jordan McGraw, old J-Mac, Frozen's right-hand man, whenever she broadcasts for Shake and Bake and anywhere else. So Jordan McGraw, he's going to go ahead and lead a lap, get a point, and that actually puts Tyler Dohar in this FilterTime number 77 Camaro P2, and then your buddy and mine, Mike York, in this number 48 Lowe's Camaro P3, and Jeff No right now in P number 5, finding himself actually now back to P number 6, finding himself back somewhat in the mix during these pit cycles. Stan Carnathan in this number 82 B-Water Camaro, he's sitting P5. Derek Sherman now moved up to P4. We went through the top 3. So far, J-Mac is yet to pit. It's going to look like Justin Mons, he's going to go ahead and move up a few positions as well. So, yeah, they are going to continue to cycle through, as you see with the scoring pylon in the left-hand side. One goes down, the other passes by. Next lap, they come down, and someone else inherits the lead, doing a phenomenal job. So far, nobody has really raised any kind of an issue getting woed up and slowed up on the pit road, coming down for those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, and fill it up with that Sunoco E15 Racing fuel. We are at lap 42, getting very, very close to that halfway point.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what the guys are trying to stretch for, is maybe that halfway point. Even if they can cut down their laps on the next run, I don't know. I think that could be a position guys are finding themselves in, thinking about. But I believe everybody now going to find themselves. Actually, I take that back. 77 Tyler Dohar still refusing to come on down pit road. Get this. He hasn't come down. He has assumed the lead. Yeah. But he has gained 40 positions just by finding himself up there. So, man, heck of a run so far for the 77 alongside the 48 of Michael York. As you see, he's coming down pit road also. These two, potentially watch out for them being able to stretch their field to the end of this race. If they play their cards just right. They are the last 2 down pit road, I believe, as the 5 of Brandon Book should end up assuming the lead, which means the 17 of James Holzer and the 16 of Cody may have got mixed up coming down pit road, may have sped, or maybe just got their timing off.
Yeah, or it could be that Brandon, I believe Brandon actually came in just a little bit sooner than the rest of these guys, so he was able to go I know you can't go full throttle around here. You definitely have to check up in getting into 1. I think 3 and 4 almost full throttle, as long as you can handle the looseness and can steer up coming off the corner without too much oversteer and putting it into that outside wall. John Fry out there in chat says DJ Stagner is NCAR from Xbox. So there you go. I tell you, it's the more and more people we see moving over from Xbox and PlayStation to iRacing. I was talking to somebody earlier about, and I think it might have been in Twitter or maybe in one of our Discord channels, about it was on the Facebook page for the Xbox and Xbox to iRacing series. How last year there were so many new people that had registered in iRacing for the Daytona 24-hour race, which we're going to see here on January the 22nd, that it actually crashed the servers. Well, iRacing went back and they gave $5 to everybody that was registered for the inconvenience, shelling out over $35,000. With all the people that have joined this year, I hope the same thing doesn't happen again. I hope iRacing is ready for that big change. And man, more and more people just saying, you know what, I'm done with console. Here we are, here to stay. Whole lot more realistic as we continue to watch Brendan Book turn these laps from the lead with a good 1.2 seconds back to Hunter Brittle.
And yeah, and while we're on topic of iRacing, I noticed that not that long ago they came out with a tweet. I believe they bought out, was it Monster Games that they bought out?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So now we're going to potentially see hopefully a good console game coming near future to the Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, whatever you want to get it on. I mean, obviously, I hope that's very good for the future and the advancement iRacing takes with those guys. But back to the race and back to the action we're seeing here. 10 of Hunter Brittle now finding himself P3 after losing it to the 37 of Elliott Henderson. Guys that sort of came down later on now starting to feel their car, and they are hard charging. As I say that, here comes the 17 of James Holzer. He's now closing the gap in on the 10 of Hunter Brittle.
Yeah, Holzer getting closer and closer to that number 10. You know, Holzer, he was on top of his game last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and once he got the clean air on the front end of that Camaro, he was just flat gone. Joey Jackhammer, welcome back, sir. Good to see you. I know last week you were all about Joey Stone, and it looks like you're all about Stone again this week. Let's see if we can't go back and find that number 6 car for you right now. And there he is. He just came across the start stripe, heading into turn number 1, past the exit of pit road all the way around. Looks like he's running that second to third groove up off, so he's not really all the way down on the bottom. But he's not up high either, losing a whole lot of time. He's in that second to third groove, maybe trying to conserve just a little bit of tire. And so far, so good. Joey Stone's been able to stay out of any kind of issue so far. We've only had one caution very, very early in the race. I think it might have been a manual because not everybody was loaded in. Not 100% sure. No flags showed up on the screen. So that's really the only thing I can think of as to what's happened.
Jaden Gimbel right there was flying through the grass coming on down pit road, I believe. Kind of strange to see that one happen. Maybe it was somebody else, but yeah. Yep, right there. Wow. Very, very unfortunate to see that one happen to the 81. Obviously had a great run running for him. We go ahead and check the replay, see what happened here.
Luckily, he was able to avoid the water barrels to the inside. That would have caused a whole lot of damage to that number 81. But, man, trying to get it woed up, not to miss his pit stop. Pit box, he did miss it, but not by a whole lot. But Gimbel will be able to get back into this as quickly as possible. We're going to go ahead and bring it back live, catch back up with that number 5, Brendan Book, just as he went on by the start stripe and the end of pit road. That just put a Gimbel a lap down.
Yeah, now he also put down the 6 of Joey Stone a lap down too, so Gimbel can't come out trying to take over that lucky dog position. That belongs to the 6 of Joey Stone right now. Did you see this 5? I mean, he's clicking them up, putting them down. Now still, I would say about a second back from the, still second lead from the 37 of Elliott Henderson, while the 17 of James Holzer starting to close the gap too. Guys now starting to find their groove once again after finding themselves down pit road. As we look at the beautiful 37 trying to catch him alongside 17. I mean, the gap's slowly starting to decrease, but how much is it going to decrease before these guys sort of find themselves on pit road again? And could the 17 quite frankly claim the lead back, but then lose it to a late race call that finds himself down pit road? Or is he trying to save his fuel? Because I believe he did come down, what was it, lap 40?
Yeah, it was right about there. As we check in with the number 8 of Tom Flitcroft. He's up 14 spots from where he started. So far right now, sitting in P number 7. And I tell you, I'm very, very impressed with old Tom. He's done one hell of a job for the most part, keeping this number 8 double bubble machine clean. Him and the 1 of Joel Conley got into it at Daytona a couple weeks ago, but he finished very strong. Finished, as Rick James would say, in podium spot last week. This week, he's sitting right now in P number 7, and somebody that we watched earlier that was a little bit further in the back, old John Honeycutt, and it's number 50. He's moved up to P11. He's just about a second from cracking the top 10.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I love the guys that sort of hang out in the back, or maybe they do qualify, but they don't qualify as good. And then I just love seeing them drive straight through the field, being able to pick up position after position. At the end of the race, they're almost 20 positions from where they started. That's the mission Honeycutt's on. But the biggest, I would say one of the biggest droppers right now is the 28 of Jordan Bain. We saw him, I believe it was last night, found a move, decided to take it down and turn down for what? Made a little bit of a mistake on fuel. I'm hoping he doesn't make that same mistake tonight. We'll just have to sit here and see. Although I think Bain did learn from his lesson. He's going to be smart with this one tonight. But I tell you, one heck of a driver. Being able to race around him, seeing what he does, even the sponsorship he was able to get, the Be Water Company.
You are not kidding.
The expansion he's been able to do with them. It's just insane. Everything from being on a car for, what was it, about 2 weeks. Next thing you know, it's blown up everywhere. Be Water here, Be Water there. Be Water is even right now on your guys' screen on Twitch. It's just awesome company. I think he came across, and they're going to do a lot with the future with them for sure.
Absolutely. Green Concepts, owners, operators, and distributors for Be Water. It's actually really, really cool. Bain sent me a message earlier. Says, hey, the owners of Green Concept want to get into our Discord and say thanks. The next thing you know, Mr. Green himself is in the Discord, cutting up and chatting up. He gave out his personal phone number, the email addresses, and he was really, really appreciative of everything that Jordan Bain and everybody in the Be Water Be Fast iRacing series is doing. And I got to tell you, I woke up this morning and I pulled up the stock symbol INKW, and between yesterday and today made about $15, and for a penny stock, that's phenomenal. As you just saw the 33 of Jason Keffer get a little tight behind this number 28 and tag that wall, but also while we were talking about that, the 77 of Tyler Dohar able to crack the top 10, get around this 28. You know, back in the day, these two had their differences, but they've ironed it out. And here you see the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by the sponsor we were just talking about, a legit, fully backed sponsor in Green Concepts, Be-Water.
Yeah, right now Baines is trying to be fast, and he's trying to be smart, attacking this right now. As we check in with the 37 of Elliott Henderson, now closing the gap now down to 4/10 on the 5 of Brendan Book. Kind of surprised that 17 of James Holter has not caught him just yet. The one guy hanging in the background that could help out this 37 is the 6 of Joey Stone, but that 17's got to be able to pick up something if he can't get to him before pit stops. He's got to be the first one down pit road. He's got to be the instigators. I believe guys are now starting to come in. Once again, I would say a tad bit early. I believe the 6 of Kyle can find himself down now. Here comes the 17 of James on the back bumper of the 6. We'll see if he's going to maneuver around him or use him up his draft.
Yeah, let's see. Got old Mohawk out there in chat asking how his buddy Luke Nupp is doing. Unfortunately, Luke had some early issues. Not exactly sure what happened to him, but as you see, once I try to switch to him, he is he's off track. So something went awry with his car early, and may have just had to take that number 54 back to the garage.
And I hate when you see that stuff happen, especially with it being such a great field going on. It's the worst thing to have happen, personally. Just you're doing great, and then bam, you're gone.
You got that right. So we're going to go back to Brendan Book, and Jackhammer saying that Elliott is gaining on Book, and he's not wrong. Here is that 37. You just mentioned him, and that just put, I believe that also just put the 36. I believe that actually just put the 36 Steelers Ford Mustang a lap down. So yeah, Elliott right in the tire tracks of the number 5 of Brendan Book. James Holter though, he also able to get by the number 6 of Joey Stone to secure his spot in P3. He's right in the middle of 2 lap cars, so he's got a little bit of a push from behind if he needs it, and he's also got a little bit of a tow in the front. Obviously faster than these two, but hey, if you can use them while you're there, go ahead and do it. Just make sure that if you do, especially getting into the corner, you don't make it to where you're tight coming off because of the air, and you're able to still run your line. Behind the top 3, you got Hunter Brittle back here in the number 10, Old Dog Fabrication, and that's also going to be another Camaro. And then Tim Moore rocking P number 5 in this number 74.
Yeah, 74 of Timothy starting to gain ground on the 10 of Hunter Brittle. I just read your chat saying out of the race already. That takes one of 10 off the list. Man, that's one way to go at it, right? Yeah, 74 right now, trying to catch ground on that 10. He's got to run the line, got to be smart right now. As you see, he's moving up towards the wall. I think that's a perfect move by him, going down, hitting the dead center of the corner at the lowest point you can get, and then just slowly starting to drift back on up. As we check in with the 41 of Justin Mons, now trying to track down the 47 of Nathan Nicholson, I believe. Sorry if I butchered that name really, really bad. But yeah, guys now starting to find themselves in gaggle of packs. 10th, it looks like 10th to maybe 15th, all within a pack. Guys now starting to get aggressive. I think it's go time for them.
Yeah, you mentioned from 10th to 15th. 15th is going to be this 11 of Jacob Kerr. And he is, I'd say, Jacob Kerr. Actually, I'm gonna go back to Mr. Mons here for a second as we continue to scroll through. So from 1st to 10th, is just a little over 11 seconds. So you're talking about the distance between going into the corner and coming off the corner. So it's really not all that far. But man, when you're talking about a track like this where you're off the gas as little as possible, you're trying to save the tire. Sometimes the necessity of saving some fuel is there as well. As now we watch the 20 of Zach Onsen challenge the 41 to the inside. Justin Mons announced earlier that he was going to be racing this scheme tonight, but he's still working on a special scheme that he's going to be racing for the rest of the season. Definitely looking forward to seeing what Mr. Mons has in mind. He is forever, so far anyway, between Daytona, Atlanta, and here at Michigan, one of the more consistent drivers within this FilterTime eSpark series, hydrated by B-Water.
Yeah, as you were saying that, it looked like they were about to go 3 wide, but yeah, Justin Mons, it's going to be so exciting to see the progression in this scheme like you were talking about. As we check in with the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, one of those guys that we were talking about, double bubble, maybe he has double trouble going on, I don't know. Under pressure from the 16 of Cody Giles right now. One of those guys we saw fighting for the top dog position, now finding himself fighting for the P6 position. They had some struggles going on. Maybe they realized, okay, coming down pit road as late as I did was not a good call. Let's not do that one ever again. But Cody, one of those guys that loves to use up the draft, at least from what I've seen this race. He's been using up the draft, but he's been having trouble getting around him. As right now, the 8 and 16, I think if you're just right there, line up. Try to catch the next guy in front of you. Because the 74 of Timothy Moore is almost 2 seconds out. They got to find something if they want to find themselves right back in this battle. You see the 74 currently working on the 10 of Hunter Bredo.
But you know what? It's kind of interesting. All right, so you got this. You have these two cars here, kind of a two-car tango. And just as Commando Griff asks, when do you think we can see these guys back on pit road? Oh, Mr. Moore, he's going to go ahead and answer for me as he brings this Toyota Supra down pit road to the attention of his pit crew. He's going to grab those 4 brand new Eagle Fuel Goods, fill it up again with that fuel, come on back out on track and try to make up as many spots as he can. And he's actually one of the first to come to his pits. Got a couple guys being lazy back there along that war wagon. Got to get them out, get them going. Let's go ahead and catch back up with the 5 as the 74 continues his service. 5 now passing the number 98 Haas machine, and that 37 of Elliott Henderson getting closer and closer. He's got to see them in his rear view and hear that Jaws music. He is absolutely coming.
Yeah, exactly what I think we just saw early on in the race. The battle between the 17 and the 16. Now you got the battle between the 5 and the 37, separating themselves by 0.2 of a second. But as I said that, I saw that just at the edge of the screen. 17 of James Holzer as we move over to him. Only a second out. He's got to get moving. Got to get some sort of extra speed. But the next guy behind him is the 10 of Hunter Brittle, almost 2 seconds back. Doesn't have to worry about who's behind him. Only who's in his windshield. As my dad loves to put it, they're getting bigger in my windshield. And right now, that's exactly what this 17 is trying to do with the 37 and the 5.
Yep, you got that right. As you see the 6 of Joey Stone exiting pit road. Here comes old Mr. Owen to the outside of that 17 on those 4 tires. That just goes to show the difference between new rubber and rubber that's 20-something laps old. As we come to 23 to go, this is very likely the last pit stop that these guys will have to make. I assume we're going to see Brendan Book, Elliott Henderson, James Holzer, and Hunter Brittle down pit road sooner than later as Tom comes flying by the right rear of Mr. Brittle, barely missing him. Brittle trying to whoa up, not to speed. I think he might have seen old Tom come flying on by. Might have thought he was going to get run into and was afraid to get on those brakes. But, yeah, we still have the 5 up top. And this 09, he's all over his inside. He just put that 09 a lap down.
Yeah, as you see, 37 also trying to work on the 09, as the 09 now trying to fight back with those fresh tires. If you're in the 37, calm down now. He's all blocked up right now, barricaded by that 09. Take advantage. he's stuck in that situation, and as you see six blowing by him, you're starting to see the guys on old tires just flying right past you with about 20 to go next time by. Take advantage of it. Why not? Get your fresh tires, move on. That's the only way I'm thinking right now. Keep that 5 trap, make him run an extra lap. That gives you time to gain, and if you're the 17, if you're not seeing much progression within that time gap, you need to come on down pit road also.
Yeah, the 5 car right there was just completely boxed in between the 6 and the 09. So that would have been a great opportunity for the 37 to come on down pit road. Looks like he's going to, as you see Mr. Moore go on up and slap that outside wall coming off turn 4. 37 is going to be down pit road, coming to the attention of his crew. This could be a game changer between him and the 5. Whoever has the fastest time down pit road without speeding and the quickest pit stop could come out as the leader between the 5 of Brendan Book that's still on track. He's got the 8 of Tom Flitcroft and the 74 of Tim Moore to his inside. He's on the outside of a 3-wide dance. He's got to come down soon.
Yep, as now you see he's scattering towards that bottom lane. It could see that he's coming down this time. We'll have to check. But I saw that 17 of James Holzer also coming down too. As you see the 5 blowing it up, backing up to that 55 pit speed limit. As now he's rolling on down pit road. He's got to be fast, almost perfect down pit road if he wants to see a chance at keeping the top dog position. As we check in with the 27 of Maxwell Castro. I believe that's how you say it.
You got it.
Yep. These guys caught rhyming names over here.
Yep, Maxwell Castro in this Camaro. Excuse me. He's one of the PlayStation Pro League Series drivers that has also moved on over to iRacing, and like I said before, he's using he's his sponsor, Next Level Motorsports or Next Level Racing. It's actually the rig that I personally use for all of my needs. It's a pretty nice looking Camaro. Gotta love the black with the red stripes, and it is an exact duplicate of the decals that come with it, and the way that this chair looks. So catching back up with P number 1 since he came on down pit road. A little bit of contact to the back end of the 34 of Jordan McGraw right there. The 41 of Justin Mons. He's going to try to come on by and grab his lap back. Right now, Tyler Dohar in this mix is showing in P number 2. He has not come down pit road yet, and neither has the 28 of Jordan Bain, Jason Keffer, or Mike York in his Cobalt Camaro. That is your top 5. But J-Mac, he's got to come down sometime soon in this number 34 Dreamcast Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, got to make some sort of move at any point. With 17 left in this race, I'd say come on down now. Get your tires, if you don't even need tires, just come down for the extra fuel. Because now you see a train on the inside of him. That's the 11 of Jacob Kerr and the 94 of Samuel Morris, both going to go ahead and blow right past him. You also see the 50 of John Honeycutt. This is probably going to box him up unless if he lets up. There you go. Mr. Jordan McGraw going to let up a bit. Wouldn't be surprised if you see him on down pit road this time. We'll have to check in as, yeah, he's going to pull on down pit road. That leaves the 77 of Tyler Dohar and the 28 of Jordan Bain, the only 2 that have refused to come on down just yet.
Yeah, Tyler Dohar completely blew by the entrance to pit road. Dohar and Bain. I tell you what, originally Dohar, I mean, he was synonymous with saving fuel. Now there's no way that he's saved 16 laps. At least I don't believe he's gone that far at the end of each fuel run to say, yeah, he's saved 16 laps, because everybody else, this is their final pit stop unless something should happen and the yellow flies. Again, we've had 1 yellow in the beginning of this race, and that was it. We have been completely green flag. 42 cars that started this race. I believe there's still, what do we got here? We still have 29. We still have just about 39 cars still out there on track. Tyler Dohar right now leading. Jason Keffer, P2. Mike York, P3. James Holzer, P4. And then Brendan Book in that number 5. He's going to bring it back to P5. And, you know, we've been covering, there's still quite a few guys that have to come down pit road. It'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. But what did you say just as these guys were battling it out? Look at the position change 37, Elliott Henderson up front now of the 5. 5's right in his tracks, and they've got a little bit of a gap now back to P3. Looks like, at least 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, with the 5 sort of being boxed in, the 37 took advantage of it and said, hey, you know what, gonna come on down pit road. And it worked out perfectly right now. Yes, the 5 has a lap pressure tires, but if this 37 can maneuver his way around traffic with little to no issues, you see just a huge gaggle of cars right now. I'd say roughly about 7 of them, all starting to get in a battle. As you see the 2 pulled down on the 37, trying to catch that 17 of James Holzer. James now in front of both of them. I think if you're them, catch up, try the draft. Unless if you're 5, you feel faster, which obviously he's showing it as they pass the 6 of Joey Stone. That's going to open up the top lane for the 5 if he does choose to go up there. 17 though right now of James Holzer, just being able to create an 8/10 of a second gap. Is now the 5 and 37 getting ready to go at it side by side with that 2 with John Holiday still on the outside of him.
Yeah, John Holiday, one of the, 2-car definitely had to check up. 5 had to do a little bit of evasive driving right there. Otherwise, he would have ended up all inside the left rear of that deuce. But yeah, 5, good driving by him. Tyler Dohar still has not yet pit in this number 77 there. You hear him woeing him up. He's going to get down on the gears, get down on the brake, slow it down. 50 mile an hour coming to the cone. Oh, and he put it into the inside wall. So far, no caution, but he absolutely tore up the right front of that FilterTime Camaro. Very, very unfortunate. Hopefully, it's not a little bit of an issue with that broadcaster's curse that we hear so much about. Dohar, very sorry, sir.
That one just hurt just a little. Thank goodness it's virtual. I'm sure that one gave him a little kick in the neck in the morning. But as we were talking about that, seeing the 77 on down pit road, 5 made a move around 37. 37 just going to give him a little bit of a love tap down the back straight. These guys now going to start going at it. But what does that mean for the 17? They continue the battle side by side, as you saw. I believe that was the 30 up in the wall. Slapped it just a little, but the 37.5, they continue going at it, battling side by side. This is what the 17 wants to see. Just creates more of a gap as now James Holzer is in control of this entire race right now, being P number 1.
Yeah, great job by the 30 of Mr. Hensley to keep that machine up in the wall. It looks like 48 of Mike York coming on by in that Cobalt 48 on those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, and he's got to make up some time. I mean, right now he's a lap down. He's got to try to catch up to Mr. Holzer to grab his lap back. I believe right now he is in the free pass position, little tight, little loose. Good save by Mike York not to go on up to the outside wall and possibly collect the 5 of Brendan Book, which in turn we've seen it happen before, catch the 37 unawares as well. Looks like this 5 is absolutely starting to catch that 17 Raise Energy Camaro for James Holzer. Holzer started on pole, won last week, picked up right where he left off, and so far he's going to try to make it 2 for 2. 5s to the outside. We got a yellow.
Ooh, wow, a yellow with 10 to go. So these guys, wow, that just shaked up everything. I thought the 17 was in control. The 5 of Brandon was looking extremely fast as we see smoke here on the front stretch. Looks like the 42 of Kyle Knapp was involved. Wow, that's a game changer right there.
They were going to bring it on back with the 42 of Kyle Knapp. Looks like he got a little loose. Tried to save it. A little bit of oversteer, a little bit of understeer. Great job by all intents and purposes. Didn't hit anything. Didn't even end up in the grass. But because he's in what NASCAR would call a racing groove here at Michigan, you can get down on that apron to make that a lane for yourself if you should happen to be 2, 3, or 4 wide. So because I guess they felt he was in a racing groove, NASCAR went ahead and threw the yellow. So let's go ahead and bring it back live. But great job by the 42 of Mr. Knapp and saving that Mustang. Didn't dent up that horse one bit. All right, so Mr. Hall's wanting to know what happened to Honeycutt. Honeycutt right now is rocking P14, up 14 spots in this number 50. He does have a little bit of damage on the rear end. Not 100% sure what happened to him. Not sure if he tried avoiding that and got rear-ended or what. But look at this, Mr. Byron. A whole lot of cars coming down pit road, a whole lot of guys staying out. I assume this is because this is the first time by. Everybody that is everybody that's a lap down is going on by. Everybody that is on the lead lap coming down pit road, just as we stay on with that 50 of Honeycutt. A little bit of blinking. Please don't do this to me again. There we go. Looks like we're pretty stable. Boy, I'll have to check something a little bit later on, but that's never happened before. But Rip saying, and maybe Byron, maybe you can weigh in on this. Wonder if York will stay out since he was just on pit road and getting his lap back. He was showing to be just as fast as everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know if York stayed out, but the one man that did stay out, the 77 of Tyler Dohar, after coming down lap 78, only 4 or 5 laps all tires. He's going to take advantage of that, but I think if you're York, with how fast you're running, stay out.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it, stay out. Obviously, he was very, very quick, but the fact that he caught everybody else, that's my only thought right now.
Yeah, Hall, I got to kind of agree with you because I thought the same thing. Saw him scored as out on the pylon not that long ago. Technical issues. I'm not quite sure what's happening. We'll definitely get this squared away. I've never, in any of the races, whether it's been with B-Water, here with eSpark, turned down for what, or anywhere else, I've never had these issues pop up on the screen. But yeah, 77, Tyler Dohar is your leader. We'll actually kind of pick up on him. Well, we're on him, but then we'll go back to James Holzer in this number 17. Let's see if we can't get a little bit better of a look at these guys. There we go. So 17 raised energy machine for Holzer. Then you've got the 5 of Brendan Book, the 37 of Elliot Henderson, the 10 car of Hunter Brittle, Tim Moore in that number 74, John Honeycutt in P number 7, Tom Flitcroft in P number 8, Nate Nicholson in P number 9, and DJ Stagner gonna round out your top 10. Whole lot of cars making their way off pit road. They're gonna be a threat. Now, do cautions breed cautions here, Byron? Knowing that you got a whole lot of fresh rubber in the back, and they're going to try to make every bit of use of those Eagle Feel Goods, and then you got some guys up front that are on 5 to 10 lap tires. What do you do?
Drive the wheels off the car. I think that's the only thing you can do right now. But then again, be smart. Don't line up things. Don't time them perfectly. Like you said, cautions are going to breed cautions. I don't think they will, though. Last time we had a caution, they stayed green. Commentator Curse hoping it doesn't come into effect here, but the 77 of Tyler Dohar is going to go ahead and lead us to green here, Pete.
Yeah, 77 of Tyler Dohar, James Holzer, who's outside, Brendan Book, Elliot Henderson, Hunter Brittle going to be your top 5. Dohar first on that loud pedal, gets a monstrous jump. He's going to pull out to at least a half-second lead over the 17. 5's going to dive to the inside of Holzer. Is he going to give him the line? And tell you what, there was not you couldn't slide a piece of paper between those two. Holzer diving hard on that inside, trying to save it. Boy, I would have loved to have been looking back and watched those gloves at work. Here comes the 77 to the inside. Bit of a crossover move. Brendan Book, Elliot Henderson, Hunter Brittle, still your top 5. And then you see the Timothy Moore in that 74 P6. Tom Flitcroft 7th, Honeycutt 8th, DJ Stagner 9th, and Nate Nicholson right now inside the top 10. Everybody back to chasing that number 17 raised machine.
Yeah, the 5 of Brendan Book was very generous there. It looked like he came down, slid down once again. But the 5 of Brendan Book now looking to the outside. He's going to try to claim that position. 1977 of Tyler Dohar starting to fall off. This 5, he's got to figure out something. He's got to figure out fast. With only 5 laps left in this race, there's only so much you can do. Right now, though, it's looking like that 17's got full control. He ain't going to let up. It's 1937 Elliot Henderson going to make a move under the 77 Tyler Dohar. Guys now starting to file out once again. I don't think this is something you want to see if you are the 5, with those guys starting to fall back. Then again, you may want to, with this being a one-on-one battle.
Caution's out.
Caution does come out.
Caution is out, and it looks like Jason Keffer was involved in this one. Going to go ahead and try to catch up with him right now and see if we can't figure out exactly what happened. So far, so good. Catching up to the 98 and the 81 of Jaden Gimble went to the outside, and Keffer's high, wide, and handsome in the air. Unfortunately, don't want to do that. But Jaden Gimble, big issue with him right there. Very, very unfortunate for Mr. Keffer. We're going to go ahead and bring it back live. A big rip.
Well, I think I just found a new sponsor for him. SpaceX, make sure you want to hit him up. Obviously, he's trying to send cars to the moon.
Oh, man, he hit that wall hard. I mean, it wasn't even that his front end was in the air. It was his rear end in the air doing a little bit of a ballerina dance. So now everybody's going to stay out. Now, if you're the last car on the lead lap, let's see if we can actually catch up. I can see right now. Let's see if we can actually catch up to the last car on the lead lap. Looks like it's going to be about P20 if I'm not mistaken. Cody Pinnell. We'll go back with him anyway. So if you're back here and you know you're going to be coming to a green-white checker, do you come in and put 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods on it, or do you stay out and see where you end up?
I think, quite frankly, you do the opposite of whoever's in front of you. That's the only way I think of it. Do the opposite. If they're going to come down, you stay out. Get that track position. But if they're not going to come down, get the fresh tires, and that will help you out even more with track position. It's sort of a two-way road, as now you see guys now going to pull on down pit road. And it looks like they're going to take a little under half of the cars. It looks like guys, the 82, the 48, the 26, 20, all guys going to come on down. Get those fresh Eagle Feel Goods, like you said, using up their last set, though, which then again, we're going to be coming to a green-white checkered at this point as we're searching in with the 6 of Joey Stone. I think a good call by those guys right now, but the 5, I would have done the opposite, honestly, of the 17. I would say, you know what, you're going to go down, I'm going to stay out.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes perfect sense for those guys. The leaders obviously didn't pit, so the lap down cars could go on in this time by and do whatever they needed to do. Maybe spend a little bit of time on pit road without going a lap down. So utilize all your tools. Keep your track position as much as you can of it anyway. Come on out and try to make up as much time. And when some of these guys have to lift on the second lap of the 3 we've got coming up, you can stay in that throttle just a little bit longer. You can put a little bit more wheel into it. You can afford to scrub just a little bit more, of that tire off to maintain a little bit of that throttle. But we are about to see one hell of a battle for the ages. We got a couple of FilterTime eSpark Series admins on the front row, and they are actually, you got 3 of your top 4. Tyler Dohar, he's going to round out the top 3. So you've got 3 phenomenal drivers about ready to set this green, followed by a guy that's been hot in the tire tracks of the leader just about all night long in that 37. And then, of course, Timothy Moore, he's been no slouch at all. He's kept that Caterpillar Dodge plowing through all night long.
Yeah, now the question is, though, you're that 5. Okay, you're on the outside. You seem to have the same speed, if not more than the 17. How do you line up your start to almost perfectly match the 17 and stay with it? At this point, what do you do in that scenario, knowing that you can't just go right behind him? You got to be able to match it up perfectly and not let him fall up on you.
This is where, if I'm the 5 of Brendan Book, I'm pulling up right alongside of that 17. I'm looking out my left window, and as soon as I hear him hit that gas, I'm gone. But then again, we know that a lot of people play some games. Is he hitting that loud pedal just like you saw him do right there? Just to hit that loud pedal, maybe catch you with a black flag. 5 cars shaking that back and forth saying, James Holzer, you ain't got this. Side by side, this battle's going to be phenomenal. Tyler Dohart at 37 and 74, they could have a front row seat at a great feud coming up here as we close down this race.
Yeah, the 5 of Brandon, definitely he has a target that he needs to hit. I'm not talking about the hood. I'm talking about victory lane. It's now a pace car going to cycle off for hopefully the last time. 17.5, 77.37, Chevy Toyota is what the lineup's going to be as we are getting ready to go. Green flag racing once again. Five's got to get a good jump. Green flag waving, not going to be able to. 17 now in control, but that 5 has any lane he wants to get to down through 1 and 2.
Yeah, 5 completely cleared, down low. Tyler Dohart not able to get the jump. 17 set and sail. He's got that raised energy all hydrated. And 5 falling back just a little bit more. 0.3 of a second now between first and second. Another 0.2 between second and third. 37 so far, not able to do anything with the 37. Going to drop back here as he tries to dive under. Here's that 10 Dog Fabrications Camaro for Hunter Brittle. He's got a good spot. 37 is going to look underneath that 37. A little bit of a side draft. Here he is. Big push from the 10. Still nothing doing. James Holzer staying in the lead. Going to get back to him right now. No challenge so far from the 5 of Brendan Book. Brendan in the tire tracks. Not really, in a position to challenge so far unless Holzer messes up in 3 and 4, I believe we're going to see our first back-to-back winner. We saw Bain get it done in race 1. 5 washed up, almost made some contact there, but it's going to be the 17 with the stretch down across the start stripe. Congratulations, 17. 2 wins in 3 weeks. I put it out there on Twitter. Jordan Bain got it done week number 1 at Daytona. Holzer got it done last week at Atlanta, and he's going to go ahead and go back-to-back right here at Michigan International Raceway.
Holzer show up in here being able to, you were talking about Atlanta, I went back and saw a little bit of a replay of that, and man, what a race it was for the 17, and being able to come out here, do the same exact thing, almost recreate it. Well, not almost, he did. He recreated it, able to take the win. As now you see 37 going to go in and give him a little bump. A heck of a race for him, man. Coming out almost dominating the entire race, and then at the end, thought he was done for, being thrown up with the caution, and he just continued to power through it and take this one home.
Yeah, big congrats. We're going to go ahead and get back with Mr. Holzer right now, just in time to watch him burn it down. He's got that, oh man. He's got that 17 raised energy Camaro in first gear, just letting the donuts rip. Big congrats for our first back-to-back winner. He ain't done yet. He's going to try to light him up on a little bit of a Polish victory lap, even blinking out just a little bit.
Man, yeah, God, you gotta take those burnouts and just look at them and stare at them and figure out. Maybe one day, Pete. Maybe one day we'll be able to do it.
No, man, I've got complete faith in you. I know in the Thunder Series that's coming up with Turn Down for What on Thursday nights, you're going to be racing that number 8, and I have no doubt in my mind at one of those races, as Expert Racing and I call them, we're going to be talking about you in Victory Lane. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to take a quick little commercial break, and we will be right back with our top 3 live from the booth. Again, big congratulations to the number 17 of James Holzer in that number 17 Rays Camaro, back-to-back winning. We'll be right back. All right, guys and gals, we are back. Definitely appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with our third place winner. It's going to be the one and only owner, operator, and main admin for the FilterTime eSpark Series, hydrated by B-Water, old driver of the number 77 FilterTime Camaro, Tyler Dohar. Byron, what's this guy got to say?
Man, I feel honored here. Got special treatment, man. Dohar, one heck of a race you're able to run today. Obviously, you were trying to extend your gas, and you were able to. And then late race caution comes out in your favor, and able to take advantage of us, walk us through that race. I mean, obviously, a lot of high points and a lot of low points in this one.
Well, going into the race, guys, what I really wanted to do was just take care of the tires and really just kind of run the old role I used to, over on the heat days where I'd just kind of be the guy in the back, the admin, kind of watching everything. So didn't end up doing a qualifying lap, just started 41st, wanted the fresh tires because we started the race on our qualifying tires. So just went out there, ran some nice, just easy laps, backed off the pack. We actually didn't make it all the way up to the grid when they made it green. So we were just nice and easy away from the first caution. I came in topped off, and then it ran green. I knew I had a long run car. I just paced myself and continued to do it and checked in with, guys like James and Brennan on what their lap times were. We were running pretty comparable times even in heavy traffic. So I was really excited. First pit stop, we made it all the way up to 21st before the pit sequence started. And then on the second half of the pit sequence, we got up to 18th, 17th. We were coming in and I had a little bit too much rear brake dialed in, and I had the first pit stall, so I got on the brakes a little too hard, spun into the pit wall, was able to back it up, but I had to use the fast repair then and there, and put 4 on it, came out just barely on the lead lap, only about a second to spare, and then that caution came out after about a lap or so of running, and I knew my car was good. I didn't like my car on 1 or 2 lap tires. I liked it on 3 to about 15 lap tires, and it was perfect. It was a no-brainer for me to stay out, so I stayed out. I know some guys were not looking forward to that and thinking I was going to be a hazard, but I went out there. I had a little less gas. The ass end was up in the air, so I could have the spoiler to use, and went out there and just ran as hard as I possibly could, probably as hard as I've run on this sim since I've been on it. And I had a shot at James, I think, just on that going into 3, the first restart. But I got so loose and he was getting loose, and I didn't want to be that guy that wrecked, probably the fastest car here tonight. So backed off, let Brendan by me, and then Henderson and I battled it out for third. So it was overall a good battle. I mean, I appreciate the guys that came out and did this. It's not easy with 42 cars, but through 2 full green flag stops, we had 22 guys still on the lead lap. That is astounding. It just speaks volumes to the competitiveness of this league. We had a couple incidents that may or may not have triggered yellows, but they didn't. And guys still battled through it and still battled and went through it. So all in all, I can't be anything but happy and appreciative to what I saw on the racetrack today. And a thank you to you, Byron, for stepping in and helping with Pete here today. And a thank you to my admins, Marty Hensley, the lead race official, as well as Brennan, Big John, Tom, and Jacob Kerr for helping out as well. Appreciate those guys.
Well, man, much appreciated. Thank you for inviting me along. Obviously, Pete came in and said, hey, you want to come call this? And then next thing you know, I'm up here enjoying one heck of a time, being able to watch you guys go around and battle the way you guys did. Heck of a race tonight, Mr. Dohar. You got anybody else you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank, of course, Blake and FilterTime, and then, of course, B-Water for coming on, hydrating us, keeping us hydrated, as well as Drop the Flag Swag, Sean Blanchard's company for printing and tire. So thank you to those guys for the support that they do for the league, and Jaden Gimbel for the paint scheme, giving me a throwback to my Season 1 Pro League car.
Well, there you go, man. Mr. Tyler Dohar finding himself P3 tonight. Pete, I think you got a speedy little 5 over there.
Yeah, I tell you what, Brendan Book absolutely kept tabs with the 17 and anybody else that happened to be in the front all night long. Brendan, it's repeat. You got me, buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you what, Brendan, you kept that target machine very, very close to clean air all night long, even at times able to get there. Walk us through your race. When did you know that you were going to have a legit shot, if not at the win, keeping it right here in the top 3?
No, yeah. Overall, it was a really good race. Just built on from what I did last week with the top four. Coming in, kind of like Dohar said, you want to take care of them tires. Early in the run, you don't want to, go as hard as you can. So that back end of that run, is quick and you can still make competitive lap times. And I think that really at that point, like at about 25, 30 laps into that first run there, my car really started to come alive and I was running down James and Cody. And then right before they pitted, I was right on their bumper after being a second back. So I think right there, like you asked, that's kind of the point. I figured, okay, I have a chance to win this. And then even when I came off pit road, I saw the lead pitting a lap later. So that whole next run was kind of smooth, just kind of maintain that lead a little bit. Um, and I did what I wanted to do for that second pit stop. I wanted to make sure that I would, at least have a fresher tires than James and Elliott there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked out to my advantage. It's just that yellow, that's not what I needed because I think I was about 5 or 6 more laps. I probably could have been right on James' bumper, give him, all I got, putting the pressure on him. But he just, had the faster car there on the short run, the medium run. Was really fun. Raced with everybody in the top five. Everyone was really clean, close racing. I didn't see any contact, at least from my vantage point, in the mirror, the windshield. So um, looking forward to next week.
Well, we definitely saw a lot of great textbook pits where the guy in second place gets very, very close to the back end of the leader, and one lap before he would go down to pit. Not quite sure if y'all were all communicating with each other, letting each other know when you were going down pit road or not, or just sending the signal out through iRacing. But it definitely seemed like the second or third place guy would go in just before the guy in second or first, and grab that little extra advantage. We saw the 37 do it, we saw the 17 do it, we saw quite a few do it, and then of course, as you said, or as Byron mentioned with Dohar, staying out, leading a few laps. The same thing Joey Ruiz did, and Mike York, and a few others. So congratulations on this P2. Definitely going to help you in the overall points whenever Jaden Gimbel gets around to updating all of those. Any quick shout outs for you, buddy?
No, yeah, all the strategies, everybody did. They all, played out in different ways, and it seemed like everybody, a little bit of everything was happening, and it was all working for, a little bit for everybody. But thanks to FilterTime and Be Water for sponsoring Dohar, putting the series together, and all of us admins that, communicate throughout the race, of what's going on. And just so you know, I'm the one that actually, does the points. He just makes it look pretty. So, but points are up. I'm just not sure when he'll have his graphic out, but they're up somewhere.
Well, for everybody out there in chat and all of the fans of this FilterTime eSpark series, hydrated by Be Water, we will get your favorite drivers' points out to you as soon as humanly possible. Byron, I tell you what, this 17, he has gone back to back. Atlanta Motor Speedway, he did everything right. It seemed like this week James Holter could do no wrong either. I believe driver 17's with you.
Yeah, good old James Holster. You got a copy down there?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
2 for 3. Not a bad percentage you've got right now. Obviously, Pete said it. You won Atlanta. It came out Daytona. It's Daytona. That one's unexpected. But then you come out Michigan, and right now you're proven to be the king of speedways right now.
Yeah, had a couple laps of practice last night in another league. It was a truck, so drove a little bit different, but nice to be able to get the line and, the pit stops and everything kind of sunk in before we got going. But, yeah, we had one mistake there on the first pit stop. We slid through the box, locked up the left front and slid through, lost about, second or so, which allowed Brendan to get the lead there, which I knew he was good on the long run. He reeled us in there pretty good on the first run, so I knew it was going to be a tough task to get back around him. I knew I had to pit a lap before him, and still just a touch quicker on that short to middle run, so if I was in front of him, with 15 laps to go, I think I might have been able to hold him off. But we had a really good pit stop there the second go around, behind Elliott, who pit the same lap as us, caught up to him, had a really good exit and had good momentum, and we come out in a pretty heavy group of cars that short pitted a little bit before us, a couple lap cars, so I had to be really aggressive to try to get around everybody as quickly as I could because I knew Brendan was going to have the fresher tires and run me down. So did a good job at that and burn up our right front a little bit, a lot earlier than I expected. And Brendan was coming, and we got that caution just at the right time. And I knew the only thing to be was going to be to get around Tyler there on that restart there, which was going to be a tough task because the tires, he had about 2 lap older tires, so they weren't going to have that loose characteristic as much so as the rest of us did. So got into 3 there, and we both got loose, and he said I trusted him a lot for running them tight, and I wasn't even trying to run them tight. I was just completely sideways trying to stick on his outside so I could get a good run. But and then that last green white checkered there, we were just able to get a good enough run out. That way Brendan couldn't get blows, because if he got blows, we weren't going to be able to rotate, and he was going to have at least a chance. He gave her a good shot, and I think he had the better car than I did this race, but the timely caution really helped us out to bring it back to back.
Yeah, after the entire race, finding yourself P1 exactly where you qualified. The only question I got to ask, obviously Pete and I, we were pondering on it a little bit early on. What was sort of the go-to lane that you found at Michigan that sort of worked out for you?
This Xfinity car, you had to be just right up above that seam there above the first lane. You could wide arc it, but that would get the right rear a little bit tempered. So I was just trying to keep a little bit lower of an arc maybe than everybody else. So it's probably why my long run wasn't as good. My short run was better just because I was traveling a little bit less track getting into the corner and able to keep the momentum on exit, but I was getting the right front a little bit hot on the long run. But yeah, definitely wanted to be there. You could move up a little bit to pass, but it just draft really wasn't that much of a key. Really isn't in this Xfinity car, so just want to keep momentum. So running right there on that above that seam is definitely where you want to be.
Well, there you go. You definitely proven it to us all tonight. Before we let you go, you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, of course, got to thank the broadcast booth for always doing a fantastic job. Pete taking the task of tackling iRacing here. He's done a really good job of doing broadcasting. They're really good to rewatch, so looking forward to rewatching this one. Got to thank B-Water and FilterTime for being the primary sponsors of the league, and Tyler for putting everything together. Thank all of us admins for putting in the work week in and week out and solving all the issues and making sure everything's good. And got to thank everybody on the car. Raise Energy being our primary sponsor on this car. JP Designs being our painter, our secondary sponsor. Go look at him on Facebook. Scheme starting at just $5. And then also got to thank Laurel Auto Group and Putt Kicker for being on the car as well.
Well, there you go. The 17 of James Holzer finding himself going back-to-back this week. Your winner from Michigan.
All right, I got to say, man, it was one hell of a race to watch, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun to actually go back and rewatch. I'll probably do the same thing first thing tomorrow morning. Again, everybody out there, definitely appreciate y'all coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. Make sure you come on back next week. You don't want to miss it. Between now and then, though, on Sunday night, I'm sorry, scratch that, Monday night, you've got the B-Water B-Fast Daytona 500. You saw the duels just the other night. Well, next Monday night, we're going to put all that into motion, and you're not going to want to miss a single lap. I definitely appreciate everybody there. Rock, you're 100% right. 90 laps, not one pit road speeding penalty. That is 100% impressive, and him also passing along his congratulations to the one and only James Holzer. We will see y'all next week. Thanks for, again, for coming out, hanging out, chatting up, keeping us company. Later, everybody.